Welcome everyone, it's your boy Zero.
And I'm Mash, and we are back for Magfest Prime 2024.
And we had a blast. Holy crap, Mash. Like, I don't know what else to say other than Magfest, to me, at least feels like a home away from home. A lot of gaming and a lot of music, and I kind of wish it wouldn't end.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But one thing that I know I did a lot more of this year was actually check out games. Magfest has a portion of the show that's dedicated to exclusively indie games and also experimental indie games as well. And we wanted to show some of those games off, or specifically talk about them, because we played them, we had fun, and we want to bring them to your attention.
Absolutely. I'm glad that we actually both took a little bit more time this year with the indie game section, because we got to show these games some love, you know? And we have a couple of games that we want to give a little bit of update on. So first of all is going to be Project Anomaly by our buddy Odlon. We interviewed him about a year or so ago at Play NYC. And for those of you who don't remember it, you can go ahead and watch that interview. We're linking it over here in this video. But it's basically a Pokemon style game where you take pictures of cryptids and try to solve mysteries based on those cryptids. And we spoke to Odlon, and he's telling us that he's working on over 120 cryptids for the game that you can photograph and speak to. And he's also working on compatibility with controller and, of course, the Steam Deck, which is only going to make this game more accessible to people. And we love that.
And stickers. There were cryptid stickers, like he promised.
That's right. We both got a sticker, as a matter of fact. I think I got the Forest Sprite sticker. I actually put that on my my deck box for my Magic the Gathering Commander deck.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got a dog, and if anyone out there listening was there too and has the Mothman or a Sasquatch, I'll trade you. But yeah, it was really cool to see Odlon again and play the game. Now we also had another update as well. We got to check out some more games.
Indeed. So Skate Story, we have another update with Skate Story, actually. Once again, we did interview Sam Eng, I believe his name was, back in PAX 2020 when the game was still very, very fresh. It seems like he's now working with Devolver Digital, which is great. Seems like he's got himself a publisher. And Mash actually got to sit down and play a little bit more of the game. Mash, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I felt like since the last time I tried it, which at this point may have been Play NYC last year, possibly. I don't even remember. I've been at a couple of events where Skate Story was there, so I get to try the game like maybe once every 4 or 5 months. But yeah, it felt like some of the controls were a little bit different. I had to go through the tutorial because doing tricks didn't feel the same way as it did before. I think Sam has definitely overhauled a couple of features of the controls. And yeah, I mean, getting that publisher as well is a huge deal for the game. So it looks amazing. I'm not sure if he changed much with the visuals since the last time. It was pretty spot on. It was like really good with the visuals before. So I don't know if he did anything to update that. But yeah, it feels like there are some variations since the last version that I played. But overall, still a great game. Still super excited for that to come out. Slated to come out 2024 if you look at the Steam page.
Excellent. I mean, hell, we're already in 2024, so I can't wait for it myself. So I was actually able to speak with EE of Heart Machine again. And yeah, they were showing off Solar Ash again. Once again, we spoke to them about Solar Ash and their development. You can watch the video here, as a matter of fact. We're linking all those old interviews. And for those of you who are not aware of Solar Ash, it goes on sale constantly online, so we definitely recommend to check it out. Think of Shadow of the Colossus beating these big-ass Titan-like creatures while also skating around like if it were Jet Set Radio. It's an amazing game. However, I wasn't able to get much news on their newer game, Hyperlight Breaker. So we'll just have to stay tuned for more of that at some point in the future.
Yep, and our buddy here, Zero, also got to play a little bit more of Scrapeboard. Why don't you tell us about that? Is there any updates for us?
I mean, there's no update. Once again, we did speak to the developers of Scrapeboard last year at Play NYC, so please go watch that interview if you want to hear like more in-depth information. But it's the same old game, and I can't get enough of it. It's arcade, DDR, skateboard goodness. They held a tournament at Magfest, and I'm super upset that I just didn't take the time to go participate, because I really do like the game, and I like putting myself up against other people that, you know, seem to be doing well, but whatever. I love to see Scrapeboard, not skateboard, Scrapeboard at these conventions. It's an amazing game, and if you guys ever see it at a convention, go give it a try. We really recommend it.
Yeah, no, seriously, a tournament for that game sounds amazing. Yeah, and those were all the updates. Tournament for Scrapeboard sounds amazing, but we're gonna move on to new games that we got to play for the first time, and there were quite a few. That's what I really liked about this year at MIVS. Lots of great games. For instance, I got to find out about Breeze in the Clouds. That's by Stormy Nights Interactive LLC. They're a very cool development team. We got to speak with some of the members. Again, we didn't really do any kind of recordings on scene, but Breeze in the Clouds, it kind of got like a beat 'em up feel to it. I can't help but think of Scott Pilgrim mechanics, but very like blown up sprites, and it's not 3D, it's 2D, but with really great platforming too. You play as a corgi, you go around punching people, you're gonna have a bunch of different stances and abilities. I also like that there are assists in it. Again, very familiar to games like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World or River City Girls, whereas we're doing our playthrough of that. Go check that out. So I had a lot of fun with it. It's super crisp. The graphics look really great. And it kind of stood out to me just because, well, it's a game about a dog, you know, let's go check it out. And I'm glad I did, because it seems like a game that would be a lot of fun, especially with maybe two-player co-op. So I'm definitely going to keep that one on my radar.
No, for sure. Now, I want to talk about a game myself. I saw this game last year and could barely touch it, but this year, I finally got to sit down and play it. It's called Unbeatable. Now, if you guys know us on this channel, we love rhythm games. I've had to record Mash play his favorite rhythm game. I keep forgetting the name of it. What is it?
Sound Voltex.
Yeah, I've recorded you playing Sound Voltex so often, right?
Yeah.
And of course, we have a video of me playing Parappa the Rapper. Unbeatable is just another one of those rhythm games, but it's different. We're talking about a music rhythm adventure game, all right? So it's 2D art over 3D environments, all right? Part of the game, you're going around learning more about the main character. I don't know her name. I wasn't able to find it out. And learning about how she's learning music and maybe her past traumas or whatever. And in this world, it seems like music is supposed to be like illegal. At least that's what the screen was saying, like the attract screen. So your job is to protect your bandmates from these thingies, these like explosive things that are coming at you while they're trying to practice and play. And while you're basically hitting the action button and one of the trigger buttons to beat these things from coming at your bandmates, you know, you hit low, you hit high, high is the trigger, low is the action button. You're basically timing all these hits with the music, and all the music is original, and it's good, and it's fun, and it's addicting. And I was upset last year because I couldn't really try it, but when I sat down this year and I tried 3 separate songs, I said to myself, oh, this is bad, because this is an addicting game. Not only are the visuals gorgeous, not only, I don't know why, but I seem to really enjoy 2D graphics, at least 2D anime graphics or drawn graphics over 3D environments. They just seem to work, and I enjoy it, and I want to play through the story and just play more of that rhythm section of the game. It just seems like a lot of fun. Unbeatable is being developed by D-Cell Games, and they have a demo up on Steam, so please go try it out.
Yeah, definitely go wishlist it. And also, real quick, definitely go wishlist any of the games you hear about here, because the games that we're talking about in this video are made by incredibly passionate game developers, totally deserve your support, so don't neglect to do that. And also, speaking of rhythm games, my next game is one of 2 rhythm games that I brought to the table here, and that is Bunny Beats by Studio Tapioca LLC. I got a chance to play this it was a game that stood out to me because the demo had what I thought was like a Rock Band controller, but it was really just an electronic drum kit with 2 drum heads. You can play it that way, or you can also play it with a standard controller, which is nice for people that just want to download off of Steam and just play it on like their computer or something. But it was a rhythm game that, to me, breaks the mold a little bit because it doesn't feel super high energy, super intense, super crazy. It's just a rhythm game that, honestly, I found very relaxing. Essentially, you have a bunny that plays a beat, and you have to go along with the beat according to it. It's, you know, the game gives you the beat to copy, and then you copy it, input into the game. I just found it really chill. You know, we had the headphones on, we were playing on a little drum set, and it was I think you could do single player and multiplayer, but regardless, I just kind of felt like, you know, I'm surrounded by all this convention noise, all this stuff going on, but I felt very tranquil in that moment. It was nice. It was not what I'm used to from a rhythm game, which is a genre that usually is characterized by things being super exploding, super high paced, high emphasis on graphics and things like just flying all over. No, it was a very relaxing rhythm game, a very straightforward rhythm game, but a very relaxing experience. I would definitely check that out if you get a chance. Again, the cool part is you don't have to play it on any specific controller. From what I gathered from the developer, you can just play on a keyboard as well. Once again, that's Bunny Beats by Studio Tapioca LLC. And to kind of flip on what I was just talking about, tranquility and everything, I played a second rhythm game at Magfest Indie Video Game Showcase. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. I believe it's NOISZ STARLIVHT. It's just spelled a little bit different. That's by Anarch Entertainment, is the developer of that game. So this is actually already out. It's a free game that you can play on mobile or tablet, which is where I'm going to play it. But it's essentially a rhythm game that's been combined with a bullet hell. So you would think of something like, you know, one of the types of bullet games that's like super popular, especially over in Japan, and cross it over with a rhythm game where it's you know, I'm trying to kind of describe it with like a popular game that most people would know, but nothing really comes to mind to me, except for this game that's called DJ Max. The way that I play it, at least, you have, you know, 4 buttons that you could input and a couple of extra features as well. I guess sound vortex sometimes, but it's top to bottom. It's a really cool experience to have on the go. And I think that the mixture of bullet hell and rhythm game was quite addicting. I could see myself sinking tons of hours into this game. Furthermore, the soundtrack was really nice. Like they didn't have headphones for this setup, but from what I heard, it was kind of what you want in a rhythm game. Very, very high energy, sort of electronic music, especially because it's a bullet hell. So I think it's going to be a very chaotic, good time. Again, there's kind of like a departure from the previous game that I was talking about, but it's a rhythm game of a very high energy flavor with a really cool twist to it. So I would check that out. Again, that's NOISZ STARLIVHT by Anarch Entertainment. You can get that right now because it's available on iOS and Android as well.
That sounds like fun. I might actually check it out for my phone. Now I want to talk about another game. This one's called Mindwave, and when I saw this game, I said to myself, holy crap.
Yes.
MASH is gonna love this thing.
Yep.
So if you guys didn't know, MASH likes to play WarioWare games. And Mindwave is basically that, a WarioWare microgame hell style of a game where you're supposed to be playing as this woman, this girl, going through the Mindwave tower to get to the top and delve into like the mind of everybody else there. So basically you play with your mouse and keyboard, and it's just a bunch of micro games, but it's in its own style and feel. And just like in WarioWare, it speeds up, especially if you're playing through the endless mode, because I have an endless mode there as well. You're playing mini games like catch the candy, and you have to move the mouse around. You play Brick Breaker, their own special version of that as well. You have to comb this person's hair. It's very colorful, very delightful. It's very animated. Just the attract screen, the trailer they had out there, it drove me to it, and I had to tell Mash about it.
Honestly, you didn't have to tell me about it because that booth stood out. It had like a building, and the gameplay just so vivid and colorful. When I saw it, I was like, what's this? They're kind of playing with a keyboard and they're like mashing the buttons. And then I noticed just the way that it's kind of laid out. The layout is very similar to WarioWare, where you have like your 4 lives at the bottom and a character that's kind of reacting to how you're doing. And I thought, oh, this is definitely something that I gotta check out. Unfortunately, there was always a line there, which is a good thing. That means people like it. But because of that, every time I came by, it was just too long of a wait for me to get to play it. Hopefully, I'll get to check that out. I don't believe there's a demo of it available just yet.
There is no demo available for it yet, but I spoke to one of the developers, and they were actually asking me not to show too much, which is fine because we're only giving like a brief talk about it, but they are coming out with a demo soon, so I'll definitely keep you updated with that. By the way, go check out Mindwave on Steam. It's being developed by Hollowhammer. It is amazing. It's very colorful. I wanted to play more, but obviously, like Mash said, there was a line, so can't stay there forever.
Yep. The next game is something that I had already heard about, I think maybe a week ago. Our good friend Bulbtastic sent this to me, and I was kind of caught off guard. I think a lot of people that saw this game were caught off guard. It's called The Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest. It is by studio Retroware, and it's essentially Simon's Quest but redone. So Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, but done by an indie developer. And it is not actually affiliated with Konami or Castlevania in any way, but boy, is it on the mark for recreating that feeling. It's essentially, to me, it feels like I'm playing Castlevania 2, but they've like upgraded to Curse of the Moon level visuals and Curse of the Moon level smoothness of gameplay. It's really worth checking out. Also worth mentioning, the booth, probably one of the most interesting booths at the MIV section. They had like 2 coffins. Yeah, they had like a church pew that you sit and play on. It was very nice. And the developer was there, so I got to talk to him, which was, again, really cool. I just found out about his game like a week or 2 weeks ago, and that was super fascinating to me. And now he was there at Magfest, and I got to talk to him, so that was great. Very nice person. I hope that this game does very, very well, and everyone should go check this out. But yeah, it's the Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest. As a Castlevania fan, you cannot do yourself the disservice by skipping this game. You have to go play this when this comes out, just like you would have to with Curse of the Moon or Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night for the Symphony of the Night people. I think that this game has the potential to be like one of the perfect indie homages to a beloved video game franchise. So I would definitely recommend checking it out. Once again, that's Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest by Retroware.
But also by Retroware, right next to that Transylvania adventure game was
right
Toxic Crusader, right next door, yes. Also by Retroware. Now, Toxic Crusaders is based on the animated series, which itself is based off of the Toxic Avenger comic. Now, this is a beat-em-up game, very similar to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Very colorful, very, very vibrant. There's a lot of voice acting, which I really appreciate, because as you're playing as these characters, you see them comment on what's happening. They're talking about the person they're beating up, or like the things they're trying to do. I think it's very cool. It's a very simple beat 'em up. There's only one attack button, so you're just constantly mashing that attack button. You do also have like a special button. I played as the werewolf character, and he did this cool howl that has an area of effect. Some of the enemies you're fighting sometimes throw like toxic ooze onto the floor, and you have to dodge it. There didn't seem to be a block button, at least not from what I could tell, because I mashed the controller and I couldn't find it. But it does seem like a game it seems to be like a game that's early in development. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it because, you know, we're fans of beat 'em ups, and this game looks pretty good and it has a rich history to it, which I do recommend people look for.
And my last game that I got to play that was brand new to me is called Oliefrog Toe Skater. I'm sorry, Oliefrog Toad with a D at the end. D like David, Skater. Oliefrog Toad Skater. It is practically just Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, except you're playing as a frog. You get a little frog, you customize it, and off you go. The graphics are like super blocky and simplistic, but also very vibrant and full, and you don't really feel like there's a lot missing. Like they don't need any more detail because everything is right there where it needs to be. I particularly enjoyed that it's not fake skateboard moves. It really does feel like a one-to-one homage to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series because you're doing actual skate tricks and you can get off the board just like in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, and you can even take it a step further than that and you can flip your board while you're off your board, which is something you can't do in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, at least not any of the ones I remember playing. But it's fun. It's definitely a game like in the same sense of here's a very silly concept and, you know, we'll make it as fun as possible. And I'm very curious about the soundtrack as well. Just I didn't get a good sense of if the music I was hearing was from the game or they were just playing it at the table. But it's you would think of it as something like Scrapeboard, but I think this is a little bit more grounded than Scrapeboard because you can actually do all of the skateboard moves fluidly with the little characters. You could do your reverts, you could do your tail stalls, you could do it all. It's a really fun looking game. I had fun playing it. I want to know a little bit more about it though. You know, is there going to be an in-depth story? Will there be different game modes? Are we going to have multiplayer, single player? You know, I want to know more about this game and what else it's got, but from the demo at least I could say that this also has potential. It's definitely very fun, and once again, the developer were really cool. That's made by Mr. The. If you go on the MIV's website, Mr. The, Thee, and the game is called Oliefrog Toad Skater. I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on this one, as I would like to see a little bit more, but I totally enjoyed my time playing it at Magfest.
And those are all the games we played at Magfest, but there are a couple of games that we do want to mention, games that we definitely wanted to play. I'm going to start it off with Rock, Paper, Sisters. Now, this is a sort of fighting game where there are a couple of characters you can switch between. One of them is going to be holding like a pair of scissors. Another one's going to be, I think, holding rocks as like fists or something like that. Another one, I don't even know what the paper is supposed to look like, but it's a funny looking game. I could not find the name of the developer. I think they go by Rock, Paper, Sisters as well. They have a funny 3-button controller, red, blue, and green. I remember looking at it and thinking to myself, oh my god, this reminds me of Dive Kick and their 2-button controller, because all they had was dive and kick. So I'm assuming for this game it's rock, paper, and scissors, and depending on which one your opponent is pressing, you'll be doing more damage. It seems like a fun little game. I could not play it because by the time I did have time to play it, it just wasn't working. But that's what happens when you're developing a game. So sometimes it'll freeze up on you, sometimes it won't.
I saw many games at MIVS that I thought to myself, wow, I would definitely want to play that. But one that really stood out to me was a game called Gunmetal Gothic. This is a third-person shooter, multiplayer. I guess it'd be kind of like a co-op survival game. And it immediately stood out to me among all the other games there just because the graphics are very stylized for a specific era of gaming. It's a total homage that they modeled the graphics after PS1 era graphics, or to me, I specifically looked at this and I thought of, oh my god, that looks like Castlevania from the Nintendo 64.
Oh my god, yeah.
where they brought the game to 3D and they had the big blown up sprites and maybe things didn't look quite so amazing. But yeah, that's 64, PS1, Saturn era, whatever you want to call it. And my God, they made it look really good and very appealing. I would say that I didn't get too good of a sense of the gameplay itself. It's, again, multiplayer. You're running around with some, hopefully some buddies, fighting off monsters. It is a third-person shooter, so I definitely will feel right at home with it. And the setting, as the title implies, is Gothic. So it almost kind of looks like if you took the setting of, like, I don't know, 1888, The Order, or Bloodborne or something, and like turned it into a retro game, and then now you just have characters that run around and shoot guns at monsters. I mean, I am definitely on board. Unfortunately, no demo yet. This was probably a game that's being shown pretty early on, but this is one that I think that we will all have to pay close attention to for any updates from the developer. That would also be by, I'm going to butcher the name of the developer, but I believe it's Know him? Maybe the Y is silent.
Do you know him?
I don't, but I wish I did because his game is pretty cool. Yeah, that's Gunmetal Gothic. Definitely want to check that one out.
All right, I got another game over here. This one's called Slime 64. This was very close to the entrance of the MIVS section at Magfest. MIVS, by the way, of course, when we say it, just think of like indie games. So it seems like this developer, Wave Paradigm, is creating a N64 collectathon 3D platformer game. All right. Now, Mash and I, we're into these kind of games. We Mash,
yeah.
you love Donkey Kong 64.
And Banjo-Kazooie.
And Banjo-Kazooie. This gave me major Banjo-Kazooie Donkey Kong 64 vibes. It also
it's funny that you even mentioned that because we were playing Croc in the hotel
same
weekend.
I was going to say, it also reminded me of Croc. I have a PlayStation Mini and we played Croc on it, and I'm just like, oh my God, Slime 64, it kind of reminds me of these games. An open world 3D platformer collectathon. And I wish I had a little bit of time. You're playing as this colored slime. It seems like there's multiple colors you could play as. It's very cute, very... It seems like... It doesn't even seem that ambitious, but it just seems like so much fun. I'm upset with myself that I couldn't find the time. It seems like there's like a lot of like different power-ups that they can use as well, like a whirlwind power-up and stuff like that. You can even go underwater, roll around. It seems like a fun game. There seems to be a demo out for it, so guys, go ahead and try it out on Steam. That's Slime 64 by Wave Paradigm.
Yep, and I just want to throw in one more game because my girlfriend got to check out a game called Project Volition that she really liked. This would be by Team Wirelore, and again, this is not a game that I got to try, but from the looks of it, it had a really cool stylized retro feel. The booth had like old CRT monitors, and I believe they also had a Steam Deck as well that you could play the game on, so you could play it on Steam Deck or PC. But yeah, it had cool aesthetics. It was similar to the game Valhalla, and that's not spelled like the word Valhalla. It's a little bit different, but Valhalla by Yisprid, and it had like a really cool nostalgic feel. Lot of themes of like socializing and social media, specifically if anyone remembers using AIM, AOL Instant Messenger. So it was pretty cool. Also, the dialogue was really funny as well. So I just want to throw that in real quick. Project Volition. Definitely, if you get a chance, go check out. I believe that this one does have a demo, and you can check it on Steam and itch.io.
Alrighty, I have two last games I want to mention because they caught my attention and I just liked how they look. Right now, I'm going to be talking about HeroBot with an exclamation point at the very end. Keep that in mind. Developed by Fell's Sword Games, all one word. Don't know why. This is sort of in the veins of Mega Man or Kirby. They're literally saying it was inspired by Mega Man or Kirby. It's a side-scrolling platformer. You're playing as this robot that could transform into like a sort of dragon thing. He brandishes a sword as well and slices up his enemies, jumping around and stuff like that. It seems like a fun little game, so just a nice little distraction. You can just get on your PC and try out. There's wall jumping just like in Mega Man X as well. The graphics, it reminds me of Microsoft Paint. For some reason, it reminds me of 90s Microsoft Paint graphics that you would sometimes see in those old PC games. And it attracted me for some reason. I just couldn't keep my eyes off it for a while. It's a game I could not try because I just could not find the time. But there is a demo on Steam, and I do recommend you guys go and find that, track it down, and try it out. HeroBot! By Fellsword Games. And our last game over here is going to be Risk System, another game I could not try, being developed by Newt Industries, LLC, and being published by VGNY. We spoke to VGNY several times. I'll go ahead and link their interview in this video as well. Risk System seems like a fun, hyper, super fast shoot 'em up with pixel art graphics. It just looks gorgeous. It also seems to have some animated scenes in it. So while you're playing the game, you could basically see these animated scenes. It's very anime-esque, and you're just there's a lot of explosions. There's a lot of high-speed animations going around. I liked it, and I just could not find the time to play Risk System. It is, however, out. It is on Steam, and I do recommend you guys go buy it because it's only $10, and that's a whole lot of game for $10. So I definitely recommend Risk System, a gorgeous looking shoot 'em up game. If you guys like shoot 'em ups, go check it out.
And that's going to do it for our video here. We just wanted to do a short recap of all the cool indie games we either got to play, didn't get to play, but wanted to talk about, or games that we've already played that we had a couple of extra things to say, or a little update for you. And yeah, that's all she wrote for Magfest 2024 for Two Stupid Gamers. We will actually be at PAX East 2024, so maybe we'll get to a chance to actually interview some of these developers on camera and learn a little bit more about them and their games coming up. So that's only 2 months away at this point. We're looking forward to that.
That's right. So make sure to stay tuned to that. Make sure to check out all those different developers and their games. A lot of them seem to be on Steam, so go try out their demos if they exist at the point in time that you're watching this video. And go watch those other interviews we had before with these developers and publishers. You can't go wrong. You're going to learn a lot from them.
Yeah. And don't forget to wishlist anything that you saw that stood out to you. I know that after this video is done, I'm pretty much going to go and wishlist all these games because everything that was mentioned in this video is totally something that's worth your attention and support. And speaking of your attention and support, we'd like to ask you to click that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments below. Are any of these games appealing to you? Have you had a chance to check them out, check out their demos? Anything that stood out to you, and will you be at PAX East? We'd like to know.
That's right. Let us know which ones you guys thought looked great, which ones you think you're going to try out. And yeah, like Mash said, we're going to be at PAX East, and we cannot wait because last time we were there, we had a blast. So we're looking forward to it. Be sure to stay tuned for more of our awesome content coming up soon, and we hope you guys have a great day. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.